No disrespect to you when I say, okay? I think that sometimes some of y'all women really don't understand how territorial men are. That's biologically how they are. It's different if you were covered up, but baby, you got titty tape on. So yes, of course, a man who knows how men are going to look at you, knowing that there's going to be men who are going to be predators or going to pursue you, he's right for saying that. That's not meaning that he's insecure, he's territorial. That's a man's nature, that's absolutely okay. It's your responsibility as his woman to understand his nature and to also have boundaries with yourself, knowing what you are exposing yourself to. I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna be quick. I'm so glad I can have conversations with my husband because I asked him, we had a deep conversation. I said, what is it about women that will make you not wife her? And the first thing he said, the way she presents herself. That's coming from a man. Men will take that. If you dress provocative, they're going to see you as an object. If you dress sexual, they're going to see you as an object. Stop calling men insecure. That is their God-given right to say, I don't want my woman to present herself out here because not only is she a representation of me, she's a representation of herself. I need to see how you see yourself. I know we always talk about women's empowerment. Dressing like that is not women's empowerment, baby. You can try it all day long.
I wanted to come on here and oh my gosh, when I saw this video, oh man, this video is actually the crux of my book in sharing with women as to the nature of men. And then as to our own nature and how we are responding to men. Oftentimes as women, we want men to interact with us and to see life from the perspective of the feminine, and how we see life and how we interact with the world. And men can have some sensitivities, and yes, the whole take of, getting in touch with their feminine side, all that wonderful stuff. However, men have a nature to themselves, and it is very innate and it is very instinctual. And when you are dealing with, and as she says here so eloquently, when you are dealing with a man, typically an alpha man, he is going to be more territorial. And actually, I would say all men are, to be honest. It just kind of comes out in different ways. Being territorial does not necessarily mean, he's going to go to the length of hitting you and clubbing you over the head to make you do what you want. Of course, we know that men cannot respond that way these days. But expressing himself and telling you that he does not want you to dress a certain way, and especially if it's coming off in a sexual way, we really need to be paying attention to that as women and respecting that. And I have talked to women about this subject matter on and offline as far as how they are presenting themselves. And you will even see as I'm moving forward with my YouTube channel, you will see several videos about how we are presenting ourselves as women and then the response that we're getting from men. Yes, I do believe that men have to be taught and instructed, and even some legalities around how they are responding to us as women do have to be in place, because I am of the mindset that every woman should be able to express herself how she wants. But with that said, we as women also have to be cognizant of our culture and the society that we live in, okay? We cannot just willy-nilly just go out there and, I'm going to be free. I'm just going to let the girls go and just, okay, yes, you can do that. But just understand that in our present hypersexual culture that we live in the United States, we are not living in a nudist colony. We're not in the wild, where people walk around, and there is no thought of being overly sexual and all of that. We live in a hypersexual culture. So if women portray themselves in a way that is sensual and sexual, and they are garnering that sexual attention by parading around in this hypersexual culture, exposing themselves sexually, they are going to get sexual responses from men, and possibly even some women. Most men are going to stay in and on a line, and then some will certainly veer off of that. And no woman, as I have shared numerous times on social media, in my book, various places, no woman deserves to be accosted. No woman is asking for it. However, as women, we do have a responsibility, and it's called feminine responsibility, and being intuitive about this subject matter of how we're presenting and if we're being overly sexual. I actually believe that this is a type of microaggression that women are exerting in our present culture when they are being overly sexually explicit with their bodies. We would have a problem if men did it, and it is certainly a double standard, and it's not given as much attention as if a man was doing it, because men can be quote unquote more threatening. But I actually do believe that women can be just as threatening, maybe not physically, but certainly emotionally and spiritually, and on those levels that can affect us on a psychological level, including children, and when they're seeing how a woman is presenting herself, and then how that can influence young girls as they are coming up and seeing other women and imitating that. And so we do have to be careful as women, and not going there so sexually explicit. And it is totally up to us as women to hold each other accountable with this. Peace.